Yo, what up, y'all? It's Omar. Ow, I just hit my shin. And this guy just turned on his leaf blower that's gas powered. If you're looking to create a vlog setup this year, really two things that you need to look out for is number one, convenience in your setup and stabilization in your setup. And that's why in this video, I'll be breaking down my super crispy 4K vlog setup that checks all the boxes. And I'm gonna give you the why on why I selected certain things based off of convenience and stabilization. So let's get into it.
You gotta just press record.
Hey, what is up? It's Omar with Think Media, and this channel is all about helping you grow on YouTube. And we do that by sharing the best tips and tools on how to do so. And if you're interested in that, be sure to subscribe. Let's start off with the body that I'm using, which is the Sony A7C. Now the Sony A7C at the time of shooting this video, and as far as I know, is the smallest full frame camera that you can buy, which when it comes to convenience is amazing. And so at a very small package, you can produce very high quality videos. And maybe you're asking, Omar, why does it matter? Like, why don't I just go with a crop censored camera? Maybe like the A6400 or the A6600. And so I'll talk about some more of those reasons, but full frame versus crop, I think a couple things that I would want you to know is number one, is that full frame cameras give you more of a blurrier background at lower apertures. And so a crop censored camera at f4 won't give you that much of a blurry background, but a full frame sensor at f4 will give you a nice blurry background. And so that's one reason. The second reason I would say is low light performance. You know, when it comes to vlogging, you don't know what circumstance you may find yourself in, or you just want to capture everything no matter where you are, indoors, outdoors, daytime, nighttime. Having a camera that performs better in low light and gives you more of a cleaner image at higher ISOs is key, and therefore the Sony A7C being a full frame camera will do so. Now some key features that the Sony A7C has that I think, you know, hits the feature list when it comes to vlogging is number one, it has a flip out screen, which is super nice to be able to see yourself and frame your shot as needed, making sure you're getting whatever you're pointing at or whatever, as well as being able to monitor your audio levels because you know, you can see your audio levels on the screen, which is super nice. The next thing I love about this camera is that it has incredible autofocus, and so it actually tracks your eye, and so you never have to worry about if I am in focus or not. And you know, you can learn the various different focus settings that Sony offers, but all that to say, just to know that it's tracking your eyeball and you can even see it in the LCD screen is super clutch, and just one less thing that I have to worry about while I'm filming vlogs. The camera has great battery life, so you don't have to worry about swapping out batteries like the older Sonys do. I like how they have a record button on the top of the camera itself. And then ultimately, it just shoots incredible 4K video at 24 and 30 frames a second. Which I absolutely love. Now, I talked about convenience. Let's talk about stabilization, which is the fact that this camera has in-body image stabilization. This is one of the biggest reasons why I would select this camera to do high quality vlogs, because it has actual hardware inside of the camera that will keep your shot more steady. And as you know, I'm holding the camera with my arm. You're not getting any jitter and shake like a lot of other cameras that don't have in-body image stabilization. Other cameras, even Sony cameras, have what is called active steady shot, and then there's like a super duper crop, which is, I don't know, something to take into consideration. But all that to say, the fact that this camera has IBIS hits the convenience factor and the stabilization factor. Now let's talk about the lens. Now when it comes to talking about this lens, it's more about a setup than it is just the lens. I'll make sure I'll post links to everything down in the description below, especially if you want to check updated pricing or even used deals. A lot of the things that I'm talking about in this video aren't brand new, and so you could smack a deal on Amazon or B&H or something, but be sure to check out the links down in the description below. But with that being said, the lens that I'm using is the Sony Zeiss 16 to 35 millimeter f4 lens. Now, one reason that I actually like using this lens, although it's f4, is because it's an f4 lens. It is a little bit lighter than its G Master predecessor, which is a lot more heavier, even though it's at 2.8, and which is fine. Like, I mean, if you're loving the blurriness, then you're loving this setup. And then it also has optical steady shot, which is something that the G Masters don't necessarily have. And so optical steady shot, like IBIS, is hardware that is built into the lens that'll bring some more stabilization. Now, when you pair IBIS with a lens with optical steady shot, you get incredible smooth footage. And so when we're talking stabilization, this lens is kind of what you need. You need a lens with optical steady shot. And if you're looking for a lens to vlog with, maybe you already have a camera, be sure to look for a lens that does have some sort of stabilization technology in it so that you have more smoother vlog footage. Another reason why I love this lens is the focal range, 16 to 35, because at 16, I'm getting a nice and super wide shot, which is what most people want for vlogging. And you know, when you're right in front of the camera, it still looks like I'm literally like, my hand is literally like the distance between the camera and me, but it makes it look like I'm super far. But with 35, you can zoom in and get more dynamic shots if you want to get, you know, like those crispy shots for maybe B-roll sequences or something. And just to show you, here's 16, and then I'm just gonna zoom it in, and you can see that once you start zooming in, because of the compression, you're getting a lot more blurry background. And I forgot to mention when I was talking about the body of the camera, is that it also has a mode called crop mode. And so you actually can turn this camera into a crop censored camera, and you're kind of getting two focal lengths. So instead of 35, it'll be like a 50. Instead of 16, it'll be like a 24. It's kind of cool that you'll have the versatility in that arena. But the lens by itself is great. However, the reason why this looks so good outside is because I have an ND filter. If you don't know what an ND filter is, it's essentially sunglasses for your lens, so I can keep my aperture at f4 although I'm out in the sun and maintain my settings. Be sure to stick around to the end of this video because I'll talk about my settings in camera for the best auto settings for vlogging, so you never have to worry about adjusting anything really. But having to screw on and off your ND filter is not all that convenient. And this guy just turned on his leaf blower that's gas powered, and so let's go somewhere else and get some quiet. Man, what timing, eh? Anyway, ND filters would be a pain if you had to just screw it on and off every time, you know, you were going outside or something. But I found this super cool, neat thing that actually keeps the ND filter on and has a hinge that opens up. This makes it super convenient, and you can just keep it on the lens. And so when you're going outside, you can just close it on top of the lens and get that nice blurry background, whether you're outside or inside. And really what's actually amazing is the ND filter is the only thing that I need to adjust to get my settings right. And so I just move the ND filter when I'm outdoors or in a bright area to when it says f4 on my aperture, and then I'm ready to go. I don't have to touch the camera or anything like that, just touch the lens and then you're good, which is super cool. And now I actually want to go into the office, talk about the other accessories like the mic and my vlog stick. And so let's just shoot over to my office so we can talk about those. We in the studio. Just my office, not really a studio. The mic that I use is the Sony ECM B1M. This is a terrible name for a microphone, but it's a phenomenal microphone. This is a Sony mic that actually gives you the ability to put it onto your Sony camera or the A7C, and without cables, yes, I said without cables, it'll transmit audio into the camera. And so we're talking convenience. Cue the meme that goes, wow, and really produces phenomenal audio quality. And what I love about this mic is how robust it is, and the fact that you can adjust your gain with a stepless gain knob. So if you're recording too high or too low, you can go ahead and change it in real time, as well as change the pickup pattern. So if you want it to pick up straight in front of the mic and not around the mic off to the side, you can do so, or you can change it so it does pick up a more generalized, a rounded, you know, audio pickup pattern. And then there's some more adjustments that you can make if it's windy or what have you. But all that to say, I did a audio test while I was at the park during the leaf blowers going on, just so you can get an idea of what it sounds like with some noise around. Here's an audio test of the Sony mic on top of the camera with a plane flying over me and a leaf blower going on back there. Like, I started shooting the rest of this video. I was like, whatever, I'll use it as a mic test. But just so you can get a good example with a very noisy environment. Like, I don't want to shoot a video right now, but hypothetically speaking, if you did have to just shoot through loud noises, this is how it would sound on this Sony mic. Pretty amazing mic, especially for vlogging. And if you didn't know, Sony actually makes a whole bunch of these kind of mics that communicate with their multi-interface hot shoe, and I made a buyer's guide video. I'll link that up at the end of the video as well as down in the description below. But with that being said, the shooting grip that I want to talk about is the wireless Sony grip. Yes, this video is not sponsored by Sony, but I'm telling you, Sony created this amazing ecosystem where all their stuff works well together But this is a really cool vlog stick it's kind of like a mini tripod, you know, for a tabletop or something. Has the ability to rotate, to tilt, and do all the things. But more than that, it has buttons on there where you can program them to do certain things. You know, obviously the record button, and then you have a custom button that you can make it do whatever you want it to do. And then there's even a zoom rocker. So if you wanna set up, you know, optical zoom or digital zoom or whatever it's called, you can do that. And this is super clutch. Like if you're vlogging, you don't even have to, you know, reach over with your left hand. You can just click with your right hand or your left hand, and you just get recording and making your vlogs. Probably the most convenient shooting grip or vlog stick that you can get for a camera. Now, before I give you the total of how much everything costs that I mentioned in this video, if you've gotten value already, please let me know by hitting that like button, and let me know down in the comments below who are some of your favorite YouTube vloggers that you love to watch. You know, I actually, when compiling this setup, I thought of two in particular. One is Maddie, I don't know your last name, Maddie, but you're tight. And then the second is Peter McKinnon. And they have been ones who really stand out with their vlogs, and it's because they use high-end gear. And so some people might argue that the gear doesn't matter, and I think that's true to some extent. But if you're looking to stand out, especially in what's becoming more of a crowded thing, I would encourage you to make an investment, and that's what it is. It's an investment into something that you don't have to constantly upgrade always. But with that being said, when you total all the things, the Sony a7C, the Zeiss 16-35 lens, the ND filter with the little hinge quick release, the Sony mic, the vlog stick, you're coming in at around $3,250 here in the US at the time of shooting this video, and that is a retail price. Oh my gosh, you know, put the scary emoji. That's retail prices, so you could definitely shop used on a lot of these things and save some money, specifically the lens too, because you can get the lens super used on Amazon or even on eBay or something like that. That is the price of the setup, and I hope you got some value in how I even used it. I used it outside, I'm in my office space, and you know, you can do a lot of different things with this setup, and I didn't mention things like unlimited record limits on the camera, the ability to use this camera as a webcam if you wanted to level up your live streams as well. You can use this setup for all kinds of things, and that's really what I thought about when creating it, was a versatile setup. Now, I did promise you earlier in this video that I would share my favorite vlog settings for your camera. And so if you actually want to check out my favorite vlog setting, it's automatic, it's fail-proof, it's pretty sweet. Go ahead and click or tap the screen. And if you want to check out Nolan's budget vlog setups, maybe you got scared at this price point, then go ahead and check that out. But I can't wait to see you in a future video. Peace.